Hey guys, it's the weekend and I've got the place to myself. So, like I said, I was gonna make a video and yeah, figured why not. You guys asked me a few questions and I figured right before I get super swamped with school and work, and since I've recently gotten a bunch of followers, I would yeah, give you guys a chance to kind of better get to know me and all that stuff. So, got a few questions and I'm gonna answer them now. So, Shami Tomita asked, what part of every body do you enjoy most working out? Um, I'm one of those people that really likes working out. I think it's fun. Though if I had to choose a specific part that I like to work out, I would probably have to say my chest. I don't know. Everybody likes a nice chest on a guy, and I don't know. I like the results I'm getting, so it's just my personal favorite part. Uh, he also asks, what features, both physical and personality-wise, on men do you like? Um, that one, the physical part changes a lot. I used to think I had a specific type before, and then you go. I've been meeting guys who aren't that, but I still find them attractive anyway. So I mean, generally speaking, broad shoulders are nice, and in pretty decent shape. I mean, I'm not gonna say I wouldn't date a guy who is like not super buff or anything, but I mean I do like guys who in a sense take care of themselves in the sense of working out and stuff. So yeah, that a handsome face, a nice smile never hurts. I feel like it's all very general stuff that everybody really likes. So yeah, the basics. Personality wise, I'm really big on guys who are really independent. I feel like sometimes in the past why relationships haven't worked for me is because I'm the kind of person I don't want to control someone, nor do I want somebody to control me. So when I date people and they're the kind of guy who wants to be kind of told what to do and expects me to be very jealous or very possessive, I that's not me. So I mean, I like a guy who is independent and will go out and do his own thing, and will let me go out and do my own thing, and then at the end of the day, we just come home to each other, and that's something that I have very much with Evan. There sometimes we go out a couple days without seeing each other, and we understand that that's okay. I mean, it's still a very young and new relationship, so being able to have that freedom kind of makes it that much easier to come back to someone. In my personal idea, I feel like sometimes when relationships start, they feel like I'm with this person, so my life becomes me being with them, and it gets very possessive and clingy, and that's not for me. I also like really smart guys. Um, I can be a bit of an ass and really stubborn, and I have a lot of really terrible qualities, but I definitely prefer guys who pose a challenge to me in that sense, who don't really let me get away with my stupid bullshit. Um, I've dated guys who just go along with everything I say and let me have my way, and I don't want to date someone who's a pushover. I mean, I get that you like me, and occasionally, sure, let me have my way on little things, but if it's something big and it matters, if I'm just being an asshole, tell me, and I guarantee you, I'll just like you better. And it goes the same way with friends too. I've never like if I don't like someone and they find out or they know, because I tend to make it very obvious when I don't like someone, and then their natural inclination is to just want to get my approval or get me to like them. That is the surefire way for me not to like someone. I don't like it. If I don't like you, you find out, and you don't give a shit, chances are I'm more likely to eventually like you and get along with you. I don't get along with people who constantly need approval from others, especially not from me. Like I mean, like, why do you need my approval? Just fucking don't need it from anybody. Don't need it from me. I'm not like that's a big thing. So that's with anyone in general though. I said smart. Thoughtful is nice. Romantic is nice, but not necessary. I mean, I get that a lot of people aren't, and I happen to be, but whatever. Um, yeah, I mean, overall, that's it. A guy who's nice but knows enough to be a little bit of an ass. You kind of have to hit a balance of both, I believe. So just no pushovers and no total assholes. So that's it. He also asked, if Pokemon were real, which one would you have as a pet? What's your favorite store and your first time slash funny drunk story? Let's see. If Pokemon were real, oh god. Uh, well, first of all, they wouldn't be a pet. They would be your Pokemon. Yeah. I would definitely be a Pokemon trainer. Fuck everything else. If I had to choose, though, I would definitely say Bulbasaur. His whole evolutionary line has been my favorite from like day one, and I have a very big soft spot for most grass Pokemon, except for Carnivine, who I think is like really poorly drawn. But everybody else, every other grass Pokemon, awesome. But yeah, preferably Bulbasaur or Starmie, because I really like Starmie too. And then favorite store, it really depends on what kind of store you're referring to. But just in terms of, just to be specific, David's Tea is my favorite store. They have, I like how it's kind of like really white and clean and crisp, and it's almost kind of clinical, especially just for teas. But I love it. It's my favorite, and I kind of like that whole aesthetic. And finally, my first time funny drunk story. I guess you mean the first time I got drunk. The first time I got drunk was prom, senior prom for the rest of my friends, because I'd already graduated. Before then, I was a stickler. I did not want to drink. I thought it was stupid, and I got mad at any friend of mine who was drinking before 21. I grew up with a bit of an alky dad, and even though he wasn't around very much, it was always something that I just kind of frowned upon. And I mean, of course, I drink now, but before then, I was just really, really, I would get so mad at my friends for drinking. And but yeah, prom came around, and I gave in to peer pressure because I know I was with good friends. I knew they wouldn't let anything happen. So, yeah, I had maybe 2 drinks. I was a lightweight back then, and I had fun. I had a fun night. I spent a really interesting night with a lot of my really good friends, and I really can't say it was a bad. I mean, it was funny. It just kind of put me in a place where I've always been the funny friend, so drinking just made my humor a little bit different. But that's my first story. It's kind of boring. It wasn't anything too interesting, but yeah, I mean that was it. So let me go to some other questions. 1 second. God damn it. Okay, next question. What were your feelings on American Horror Story Coven? I love that show. It was amazing. I let's see. It must have been probably since Heroes that I watched the show that I got emotionally invested in the characters and in the storyline. Even though I liked the first 2 seasons of American Horror Story, I feel like I didn't really connect much with the characters, just the story. And in this case, all of the characters. I mean, everyone was in some way a relatable character for me. Um, as everybody knows, particularly Madison. Just I don't know. They were interesting, and nobody was completely good. Nobody was completely bad. Everybody was kind of a gray area, and even the bad people, you got to see a little bit of why they did what they did and why they were how they were. So I thought that was very nice. And yeah, that was it. I really loved it. I thought the story was interesting. I felt some places it either went too slowly or they left a few plot holes open. But I mean, they only have 1 season to do the whole thing. You know, I mean, I like that they're sticking to their guns and they didn't decide to make it like 2 seasons or 3 seasons. They just try to start out with a good story and wrap it up. So I mean, definitely Coven was my favorite season out of all of American Horror Story. Next question is from Anonymous. If you were in Naruto, what would your elemental affinity be and what would your clan be? That one's hard. All of my favorite nature types in Naruto are usually Kekkei Genkai, so I really like wood release, I really like lava release and blow release. So, I don't know. I would want to have, I guess, the chakra natures to have all 3 of those Kekkei Genkai, so with water, earth, and fire. So yeah, I guess that one I really can't say it completely. I've never been a really big fan of like the usual elements, and I get so like what are they? Earth, fire, water, lightning, and wind. I normally like wind-related stuff, but I don't know. I didn't really like the way they went about it, and for most of the chakra nature, like Naruto's was just like he's wind chakra, and it's just kind of like air pressure. That was kind of boring. So yeah, that KK Genkais are the ones for me. Let's see. Another question from Swifty120. Hey, how are you? I'm great. It's been the first week of school and I'm already exhausted. Every single class is given at least 4 hours worth of homework plus work, and work is a whole new thing for me because I used to work in banking where I used to just get to work and just kind of sit there and do my shit. Now it's a lot more physical, which I like. I definitely don't like a job where I'm just sitting around all day and I get to talk to people and the money's good. So it's kind of just a new venture and I'm exhausted, but overall I'm okay. Next person, and this was just in something that I had said about Misty Day dying on American Horror Story Coven. They say if it's any consolation, I like to think that Misty Day's time in hell ended with her physical death. I see no reason why she couldn't transition to a more fitting afterlife following that point. I really hope that's the case. I absolutely love Lily Rabe, and Misty Day was such an awesome character. You know, she was sweet and a little insecure, even though she was like a really powerful witch, and I just liked how she came into herself. So I hope that's the case. I hope the writers would give us some kind of clue as to what happened afterward, but for now, I'm gonna go with you, and I hope that's the case. Next one from Anonymous. I completely agree with you that the show, mainly the talented actresses involved, made a lot of the little the writers gave them, but it was still a mess. Any show, fantasy or horror, theme shows in particular, only work if there's a set of rules the characters have to stick to. Remember when Fiona thought Madison was the next Supreme because she manifested 2 powers, and now all the girls easily perform at least 3 of the 7 wonders? There was little to no logic in it at all. I think you're right in some senses on that, but I mean, when Fiona started to suspect Madison was the Supreme, you know, I mean, telekinesis was already her first power, which is one of the 7 wonders already. Then she quickly developed pyrokinesis and concilium. So I mean, honestly, by then she had already gained 3 of the 4 7 wonders pretty early on. You know, meanwhile, Queenie had the human voodoo doll thing, which wasn't one of them. Zoe had the killer vagina, which also wasn't one of them, and then Nan had clairvoyance. So, I mean, obviously she was also finding out she was close to dying and losing her vitality. So, obviously, I mean, she just jumped the gun. I don't think it was completely pointless. I think it gave Madison's storyline somewhere to go, which, and it also kind of helped for me in any case, give her some depth, because she wasn't just the bitch, you know? And more than once they showed that she did have a caring side. You know, like when, oh God, what's his name? The hot guy. His mom won't let Nan see him in the hospital. Luke. She won't see Luke in the hospital, and I mean, Madison kind of comforts Nan. I mean, I feel like that aspect of, you know, Fiona killing her after first gaining her trust and kind of her confidence, like making Madison feel like she found someone in Fiona to kind of trust and a better mother figure than her own mom. I feel like for me, it's what made Madison even more relatable and more likable, because it better explained why she was the way she was. So to me, it didn't seem pointless. But I mean, if it seemed pointless to you, I mean, I can see why. As far as for all the other girls manifesting at least some of the 7 wonders, I think that also was really interesting because it made it seem like the girls weren't just this one class. They were a particularly strong set of witches, you know, because from what we saw in the past, a lot of witches were either afraid to use their power or didn't really have that much power. Even Myrtle, before she died, she admitted she wasn't that strong of a witch until she was burned at the stake and brought back. So I feel like it just let us know that, you know, this group of witches were really strong. And yeah, I mean, that's how I saw it, but you know, you're entitled to your opinion or whatever. Okay, those are all about my porn blog, and everything else is about that, whether something's a turn on or not, which I don't really want to answer on this video. But yeah, that's it. If you guys want to ask any other questions, feel free to. This video will probably be up in about 20 minutes. So yeah, just take your time. Ask me anything else you want, and yeah, hi to all the new followers.